If you guys are avocado obsessed like me, keep watching because I baked avocado into a cake. I added it into my vanilla cake recipe, which is already so delicious, and then smothered it in chocolate buttercream. But I didn't want to just stop with it tasting like an avocado. I wanted to decorate it to look like an avocado too. And I really wanted the avocado pit to stick out from the cake, kind of like it does when you cut an avocado in half, so I made one out of chocolate. Instead of leaving it plain, I thought he would look really hilarious with a mustache and a little face. You know, he as if it's a person and not a cake, and gave him these little legs. I love how it turned out. Like and follow for more cakes. This was one of my most requested cakes, so here we go. I baked a 6-inch round chocolate cake and covered that in chocolate buttercream and made sure it was really smooth. I then added this white strip to go on the front and used my ivory fondant to make this nose because we are making an animal. I cut out its eyes out of black fondant and added on all of these details and then added those to the cake just using some water. Then with a few different shades of chocolate buttercream, I piped all these like swirly rosettes going all the way up and back onto the side of the cake. And for the ears, I layered up 2 colors of fondant, pinched the one end, and stuck those in. I hope you guys like how it turned out. Let me know what I should make next. You guys asked for a realistic cake, so here's another one. I baked a 6-inch round vanilla cake and then just tapered the edges a bit and iced it in pink buttercream icing. Then just around the outside of the cake, I wrapped around ivory fondant and then pinched up the edges like this so they're kind of proud from the cake. Using a ruler and veining tool, I made crisscrosses all along the outside. And to add even more texture and definition to those crisscrosses, I just used some color dust and dusted it all over it. Then I added this kind of half sphere cake on top and added a lot of icing all the way around it so it kind of looked like a scoop of ice cream. I used fondant to cut out this chocolate drip, and then I used white buttercream to add a cherry on top with a little bit of whipped cream. And that's how I made an ice cream sundae out of cake. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like and follow. You guys asked for it, so here's another cupcake cake. I start off by assembling all my cupcakes into the rough shape that I'm going for. Then I use an ice cream scoop to scoop on my buttercream icing. This one's gonna be a baby bottle. Then I make sure my icing is as smooth as I can get it and add on all my details. For this one, I'm using a number 10 piping tip, and I'm just gonna pipe on all the details I'm looking for, and after I've piped on each section, I'm using a napkin to help smooth it out. Sounds like literally the weirdest thing in the world, but it works so perfectly. I wanted this one to be a gender-neutral baby shower cake, so I decided to go with the giraffe theme and piped on a pretty giraffe and some leaves. Let me know what I should make next, and don't forget to like and follow so you don't miss my next video. Okay, bye guys! Ever heard of chocolate chip cake? Well, I'm making chocolate chip cookie cake. I baked fresh chocolate chip cookies and then crumbled them up and then folded those into my vanilla buttercream icing. I layered those in between my layers of cake so that way on the inside of this cake it tasted like a chocolate chip cookie, but on the outside it's gonna look like a cookie jar. I am so excited. This was one of the first realistic cakes I ever made, and I was so proud because it was such a challenge for me. Like and follow for more content. We're making cupcake cones. Basically like regular cupcakes, except they're baked in ice cream cones. But on the inside of them, instead of just like regular cake batter, I did a surprise inside, so each one of them is going to look different when I cut them open. Then using my buttercream icing and some fondant details, I made these little unicorns. I am obsessed with finding the easy way to do any kind of theme without a lot of work. But when you cut these guys open, there's going to be a surprise inside each of them. I feel like the first 2 look really good, but the rainbow is my favorite. Like and follow for more. I'm going to show you how I made my giant Pop-Tart cake. I just started off with a 9x13 slab of my vanilla cake. I then filled it with raspberry jam and iced it in ivory vanilla buttercream. Once that was smooth, it was time for the icing. But for the icing side of it, I'm going to use fondant so that way I can cut all these pretty curves in it. And since everything looks cuter with a face, I'm going to put a kawaii face right on top of it. All the details I love making out of fondant because I feel like it's so diverse and so easy to work with. If you guys don't know what fondant is, it's basically just like marshmallows and icing sugar kind of mixed together. But you can also buy it pre-made. And I cut a big bite of it so you can see that raspberry jam filling. What should I make next? Let me know, and don't forget to like and follow. For a long time, I went through this phase where I baked half sphere cakes and then decorated them to look like animals. Something about them being like super round and fat looking always made them really cute. This one I iced in buttercream icing and then covered it in this baby blue fondant. Once they're covered, I start adding on all of their little details using fondant. I always think of fondant as like adult Play-Doh. I always have so much fun working with it and seeing what I can come up with. You can even do things like add shimmer dust to it to make it shine. When I'm trying to get the right shape, a lot of times I try to use cookie cutters, other times I just try to manipulate it with my hands. Flower wire works perfect to make anything stand out 3D. This is how my narwhal turned out. Let me know if you want to see the other round animals.